Now, another massive controversy has hit Delhi's app-based cab services. A woman commuter in the national capital has claimed that the driver of the TaxiForSure cab masturbated while driving through the streets. The woman commuter took to social media sites to relive her horror. The woman, who was travelling from South Delhi to Faridabad in neighbouring Haryana, claims that the driver played music at full volume despite repeated pleas to turn the music down. The commuter claimed that he found the driver Devinder Kumar masturbating while she was telling him not to drive rashly. She's now posted details of her communications with TaxiForSure regarding her horrific ordeal on Facebook. Remember, this is not the first such occasion when app-based services have come under fire after an Uber car driver raped a woman commuter in December last year. Let's go to the complainant who was to join us a short while ago, but she's spoken to us earlier. I want to give her story. Let's listen in to what she had to say. This is the harassed commuter telling us her story. Listen in.
So, I boarded a TaxiForSure cab Ola on the night of July 2nd, roughly at around 9:30. By this point, I was, starting to get worried because he was also driving really rashly. So, I asked him to sort of slow down and drive properly because there was no hurry. Now, when I said this to him, that was the first time I actually directly looked at him and I saw that his hand, one of his...
She's now joining us live, the commuter. Please tell us exactly, ma'am, what happened and just give us the, what exactly happened.
Well, I booked a cab from my workplace, which is in Saket, to go to my home, Faridabad, at 9:30 in the night on July 2nd. Now, this was through TaxiForSure, which has been acquired by Ola. So, for the first impression, everything was perfect. The cab as well as the driver seemed fine. I started my journey, and in the first half of the journey, I had to ask the driver to keep the volume of the music low because I was constantly on call. However, once is enough, I had to ask him to do that thrice. Now, after, say, the first 50% of my journey was over, I started noticing that the driver had sort of started driving rashly than what he was doing earlier. I could also see that he's handling the steering wheel with just one hand, while the second hand was somewhere between his legs. So, as I was talking to him, I was telling him to drive slowly. That's when I looked at him and I noticed him shaking his hand vigorously. I was obviously shocked. I was taken aback because it's not the first thing that crosses your mind. When I saw him do that again, that's where I was somewhere like 70% sure that, okay, this guy is up to something extremely disgusting with me in the car, right on the back seat. However, say after every 5 seconds, he would, stop, just manage the steering wheel and go back at it again. Now, it got extremely frustrating for me. It was suffocating because there was this unmistakable stench in the car. So I just opened my window, hoping that in case he tried to do something, at least I would be able to scream for help. Now, this was when I was roughly 20 minutes away from my house. I was just waiting to get home so that I could confront him or do what was required to do because...
Have you filed a complaint, or have you only gone to Facebook on this so far?
My first step was to contact Ola, who directed me to TaxiForSure. I wanted to understand what their procedure would have been. Initially, they gave me a standard answer that they'll take an action in 24 hours. However, the best of their capability was to just terminate the driver. I was expecting was for them to file an FIR so that I could cooperate with them. Now that they've terminated the driver, if I go and file an FIR right now, TaxiForSure happily gets to walk away from it, while it becomes a personal vendetta. Now, if I am supposed to do that, then I'll have two agendas. First would be TaxiForSure, and the driver would probably become secondary. So, what I'm failing to understand is, as someone who is way younger than a qualified legal team that a TaxiForSure organization would have, an organization going after an individual with a criminal intent is more effective than me going after someone like him when I get to hire a lawyer and get to run around. what's more effective? I'm just
Right.
failing to understand where is TaxiForSure lacking the capability to handle this.
Okay.
Because
I think your point is well taken. Whether the taxi services have a legal mechanism in place to handle such a case or simply terminate the services of the driver as they've done in your case. Hopefully, what you've said will be a message to the taxi companies to really understand that in this market, if they want to truly compete, then they will have to ensure greater accountability of their drivers.